Greetings, parents and students. I just wanted to make a little video to try to clear up some of the confusion about the students' weekly self-grading, self-eval page and their weekly practice journal. We will start with the eval page. So every day in band, every time that we have band, we do this together in class. And so each week the students will get this on a Tuesday. They should put their name and circle the grade that they're in. Okay, and you can see the directions that each day the student is responsible for evaluating themselves based on this rubric. So for the first box here, we put the date. So we'll say today is the 16th of September, okay, and we'll do this for choir. We'll say we were in 710 choir this morning. And so for this first box, for preparation, we look at here and look at the rubric. Did the student bring a pencil? Did they have their folder in music? Did they have, for band, would they have their instrument and supplies? Were they in their place and ready? Did they spend time practicing? So that would give them a 3 in the preparation box for the day. If they did not do those things, then they would be perhaps a number 2 for the day that they would self-evaluate themselves as. Maybe they forgot a pencil, or they were missing their folder of music. Maybe we're a little bit late, things like that. Or maybe they were number 1 and they were just not ready for the day for under preparation. Then for performance, they'll scale themselves also on a scale of 1 to 3. Did they stay on task? Did they listen to directions? Did they talk or not talk during rehearsal? Did they strive to improve? And if they can say yes to those things, then they would have received a 3 for the day. And again, on number 2, if they didn't quite meet those things, then maybe they got a 2 or a 1 for the day. And again, with posture, they would score themselves here. Did they exhibit good body posture when they were singing and playing? Did they use healthy technique? And this is something we'll be talking more about as the year goes on, so the students will better understand. But at least as far as they understand right now, are they doing the best they could for those things? So preparation. Let's say I was in choir today and I had my music, but I forgot my pencil, and I was there on time and I practiced. So I might give myself like a 2 for today. For performance, I tried really hard. I stayed on task. I was listening to directions. I didn't talk and all those good things. So I got a 3 for today. And for posture, I tried really, really hard, but had to be reminded or didn't do my best. So maybe I got a 2 for posture. And so that would be my self-score for the day. And so for each rehearsal of the week, students will write in the date and the ensemble and their score about how they did. Now for 7 through 10, since these are kept in their band folders, we've talked about how they will do this at the end of band every day. They'll think about the choir one for the day before, and they'll think about band. So tomorrow will be a Tuesday, and I'll have 7-10 band, and they will fill in their score for band and for choir that they had today. And this will be for grades 5 and 6 band, and also the 7 through 10 band. Now, that is the daily participation self-grading or self-evaluation. On the other side, we have their practice journal. And I call this a journal because this is about process. And that's something I should have mentioned about the self-evaluation as well. This is about process. This is about learning healthy rehearsal habits and healthy rehearsal technique and etiquette. And so for the practice journal, this is about learning healthy practice habits, healthy practice techniques, and etiquette. And so this also is due every week on Tuesday. Both of them are due on Tuesday, and I will be instilling this here that it'll be minus 5 points for each day late. And this is everybody in my ensembles has to fill this out, okay? So take note of what grade the student is in. If they're in 5th grade, then they will only have to do 50 minutes a week. If they're in 6th grade, it's 60 minutes a week. 7th is 70, and so forth. And I've let the students know that this is shared. So this can be choir practicing. This could be their instrument for band. If students are also taking private lessons in piano or in some other area, it is possible for them to count part of that rehearsal time on this sheet as well. So for example, if I have a 6th grader and their minutes are 60 minutes a week, and they're playing piano and have to do piano practice, then it would be acceptable to have 15 minutes of their 60 minutes be of their piano practicing. Okay, so this is just to try to get students in the habit of healthy practice. Now, when they're filling this out, they will go to the date, and you're welcome to put the day. So like today is the 16th. So you're welcome to put the day on there. Then the minutes practice. Let's say I practiced, a total of 20 minutes this day. And let's say for this, it's what did you practice? And this is more than just saying I practiced flute or I practiced singing. This is specifically. So let's say I practiced 10 minutes my B flat concert scale, just working on those scale and fingerings, okay? And maybe I did 5 minutes with flashcards to help me learn my note flashcards, okay? And then maybe I did 5 minutes working on one of our repertoire songs, and so let's say I did 5 minutes on Eagle Summit. Okay, so that is an example of what would be filled in, how many minutes, 10, 5, 5, and then I put the total over here, 20 minutes that I did for the day. And this is what students will be filling out, hopefully every day, practicing a little bit, and so they can get all of their minutes in. But again, this is not about getting every second in. This is about process, and it's about a habit. So if a student does not get every second in, it's okay. They may lose some points depending on how many they're missing, but it's about the process. And so it's really important to be filling in what are they practicing? What are they spending their time on? Not just writing down trumpet for 30 minutes, because for as far as I know, they could just be staring at their trumpet for 30 minutes. So some other acceptable practice things are working, like I said, working on notes, working on fingerings, playing through songs, practicing, being able to play something without needing the note names, but being able to play it by just reading the notes around the page. You can find websites. I'll be sending out a resource with some websites and videos, some YouTube videos that I've put together that students can watch about their instrument, and those kinds of educational videos that helps them to become better musicians. Those are acceptable as well. So the important part of this journal is at the end here. At the end of the week, they should be writing and answering these questions in a couple sentences, preferably what went well. So perhaps they did really, really well getting all of their notes in the B flat scale down. That's great. Then they would write down, I played all of my notes in the B flat scale very well today. Something like that, and it could be 1 or 2 sentences, something about their practice time, or maybe it was, I memorized all of my fingerings, or I memorized the fingerings for the notes B, C, and D, and it was not hard, or something like that. And then what did not go well? Maybe they had a really frustrating time making a sound. Maybe they had trouble switching registers on their instrument. Maybe they didn't understand what the choir music was talking about with the rhythms, something like that. So what did not go well? Maybe I struggled with rhythms on Little Light for the choir. This Little Light of mine, you can abbreviate, that's fine. Measures, let's say it's 52 to 55, and try to identify exactly where it is, because then as a teacher I can go back and say, okay, this student had trouble here, let's review that, and we can work on that together. And so then we go down to, what did you learn? This can be similar to what went well. So maybe you can say, I learned fingerings for high, B flat, and C, something like that. So it's very specific, tangible. This is what the student learned. Now, the last question here is checking in. Did anything happen this week that I as a teacher needs to know about that may have affected the practice? This is because this question is here because I want to make sure that I'm aware and understanding what's going on in the students' lives. So if there's a major sickness or an accident or tragedy or, things happen, life happens, let me know. I've had students whose grandparent passes away or whose pet passes away, or they got into a minor car crash or something that was really traumatic to them, that I don't expect them to be practicing, to have all of this perfect, and that's okay. However, it's still important that is communicated to me, and that that I'm made aware of that. Because if I'm just not getting papers, if it's just not turned in, then I don't know what's happening and I can't help the student to catch up. Okay, and then the last part of this is parent signature. It could be grandparent or other guardian in the home who is able to sign it and date it. And this is just to help the parents to be aware of what's happening, or guardians to be aware of what's happening with the student, how they're doing, what they're practicing. And so that I know that you're checking in with the student, okay? So the important parts for this is making sure that you take a look at how many minutes you're supposed to be practicing, doing your best to get all of those, writing those down, and writing a little note about what you practiced, answering the reflection questions, and getting that signature. That's something that we'll be doing, the student will be doing on their own every week and turning it in every Tuesday. Okay, and then the participation, self-grading, this is something we do in class together at the end of class, but it's something that students still need to make sure that they're doing, and doing that when we give time for that. And also, please remember to put your name on top so that I know who it belongs to. If you have any other questions, please feel free to contact me. Thanks.